Okay.
Welcome back to another completely unhinged what is it called? Pole obsession. Obsession pole? What is it called?
That is actually really bad that you don't know what the podcast is called. Pole Obsession.
I don't know I don't know my own name right now. I don't know who I am. How am I supposed to know what I'm doing? Um,
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm in the same boat at the moment.
yeah.
Like literally the same. Every single week for me is just pure chaos. People think I've got my shit together. I do not lately. Let me tell
You,
you.
you you have it more together than I do, that's for sure. And you have so many. You have so many of all the things that are to be kept together. I don't know how you do it. I don't want to
Well,
do it. You do it, not
it's
me. You do it.
hanging on by a thread at the moment, let me tell you. I'm currently in Sydney filming this one. So I don't know where I was last time, maybe Canberra or Melbourne, but this one is Sydney.
Yeah, because you live in Melbourne, but you also live in Canberra, and now you're a bit in Sydney.
Yeah, well, I have a house in Sydney that I've had an apartment that my daughter lives in. So I've come to Sydney quite a lot because of Bella's here, which anyone who does the championships knows who Bella is because she's always a backstage helper and
She's the true champion.
yeah, she does a lot. She does a lot.
Bella. She's there like just holding it all together
Just
quietly.
holding it all
Like
together.
while mum is like losing her shit, Bella's like
Yeah,
she's like catching it. She's like, I got it, mum. There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah, she's good with the competitors. The competitors love her.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have a Bella. You gotta have
Got
one.
it.
I've got a Riley, you've got a Bella. You need one, otherwise you'd go insane.
Yeah, that's it. Moved this weekend, so that's why I'm in Sydney from one apartment to the next. Just her and I lifting all the furniture and all the boxes and unpacking it, and it's going to take
Ugh,
a full
nothing
week.
like moving. There's
Fun time.
nothing worse. I hate moving. Enjoy yourself. I don't want to do it. You do it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk today in our unhinged era.
Should we go straight to WA? Because I think you ran that first, WA Miss Pole Dance.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Like, I'm actually really interested to hear about it. I didn't get to see it, but I saw little snippets of some bits and pieces, and it looks
Yeah.
pretty epic like it usually is. And that was the first one that started the Miss Pole series for this year, is that right?
Yeah, we were the earliest one this year. Usually we're a bit later in the year, but we were early this year. So it's been a bit of a change, I think, for WA. I think what stood out this year was, and I'll speak a little bit about it because I think it's an interesting topic, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about it as well. Was we had the majority of the competition was amateurs. We had more than double the amount of amateurs that we did pros, but there was a lot of debate about whether some of those amateurs should have been in pros. So
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it made the judges' deliberation very heated and difficult. Not like they weren't having fights or anything, but it made the amateur section very difficult to judge because of the discrepancies and because that the judges really felt that there were amateurs who should be in pros. I think it would be an interesting thing to talk about for WA particularly because I think our amateur section ended up our professional section was only 5 people, but the judges felt that there were numerous people who had entered themselves into amateurs that should have were at the level where they should have been in pros. Now, I don't know if it speaks to how they feel inside, like whether they're ready to compete on a professional stage, even though the physical stage was exactly the same. Um, yeah, so like what constitutes an amateur, what constitutes a pro, when should an amateur be an amateur and when should a pro be a pro? I guess is the like maybe sort of something that needs to be clarified for WA going forward.
I think that we've done this. Like, I think we did this years and years ago when we,
Yeah.
like, all the big competition owners all got together and we talked about what makes a pro, what makes an amateur, and then we put the rules into place and we all decided together what was what. But then some of the competitions, because do you remember when it came out, this is going to be a social competition and this
Yeah. This is
is
graded. This is not graded. This is social. This is amateur.
Yeah.
All got
But
really wishy-washy again.
yeah, look, okay, so it was social or graded. They were the two names that we called it because we didn't call it professional or amateur because, for example, the Australian Pole Championships has professional and they have amateur. So you can't say this competition is. So as a whole, we decided to do that. Now, where it kind of came unstuck and where it came undone a little bit, I think it may have been 2021, possibly 2022, where some competitions wanted to be graded competitions, but they didn't want, and in our graded competitions, so how the Australian Pole Championships is, if you're in a state heat and you're in an amateur competitor and you place first, second or third in a state heat, you moved up to professional. Or if you compete in the national finals, which means you've beat hundreds and hundreds of people around the country to get to the national finals, then you become a professional. So, and then obviously the Australian Pole Championships and Miss Pole Dance Australia were, graded. Other ones that I remember being graded were pole theatre and hardcore, even though they don't have state heats, they had a lot of competitors enter. So that's, I think, why Danny and Shimmy wanted those ones graded.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I think a lot of the amateurs that we had in, and some of them it was their first time entering Miss Pole, but the level that they were performing at was like professional level. So that was where the sort of, I guess, question came in, was like, if it's your first competition that you've ever done.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What had they done before? Had they done any competitions?
Nothing.
No, well, then they're amateur. You have to be able to allow them to come in and compete as an amateur if they've never competed before. It doesn't matter how good they are. It matters if they've competed or not.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, I agree, which is why, as the organizer, they were an amateur, even though I felt they were at a level where they could, if they wanted to, perform on the professional stage. And there was a couple that I gave the option. I said, look, you are at a level where you'll be up there with the big guys. Like and we've all had those like people in our studios, right, that are like, clearly they're going to go somewhere, even if it's their first year competing, excuse me. Even if it's their first year competing, you can tell, they've got it, but yeah, I think it's their right to go into amateurs should they want to, even though, if they were in pros, they might have placed as well. But yeah, I tend to agree with you, even though it does cause a lot of words to be said on the night.
But if they're good as an amateur and they've never ever competed before, well, good for them. That means they've just worked really hard to get to that and they haven't jumped in as an amateur before they felt they were ready. So they have to be able to be given the opportunity to be an amateur. Everyone in every sport starts as an amateur. Nobody starts as a professional. So I think that's completely unreasonable to ask them to start as a professional.
Yeah, and it is interesting as well, I think, because then you have the question, like, if you're an instructor, are you an amateur?
Well, that was old school. Like when I started the Australian Pole Championships back in 2011, that was the rules that we had. If you're an instructor, you're a professional. So we sort of pulled that out. I think 2013, it only lasted for a couple of years because there is I've got in instructors that only teach beginners.
Yeah.
How on earth are they a professional? So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to get up on that stage and compete first before you can count someone as a professional, even if they're an instructor. Instructing is very, very different to competing.
And also the other thing to consider as well, I think, is that just because you're an instructor or just because you're a good pole dancer doesn't mean that you're going to be a good stage performer. Like without doing it, you can't experience it. So if you don't have the opportunity to go in, as you say, in amateur level, to put yourself on the professional stage, It's like it's a huge step from nothing, from never competing in pole before, to go into even an amateur like level. So even if you're a great pole dancer and you're a teacher and you're whatever, if you've never done it before, that's a whole lot of skill, like a really big skill set to learn.
I've been teaching something for like my entire life, dance, gymnastics, you name it. I've been teaching pole, I don't know, I've been doing it for 17 years. And I consider myself an excellent instructor, an excellent coach. No way would I get on a stage. Absolutely not. Are you cracking jokes? So if I ever did, I'd want to go as an amateur, let me tell you.
One day to get you on the stage because I want to push you as hard as you push yours. You know what I mean?
It's not happening. But that's my point. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter how long you've been polling for. You can't just be pushed into professional.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's such, I think when you're looking at it through, I guess, the guise of the audience, it could be a bit confusing because you're like, that's not an amateur. And like she's as good as the professionals. Why is she an amateur? And I guess if you don't have the like knowledge of what it takes to compete, put a piece together, like all of that information, and you're just looking at the final product, like yeah, there's a big discrepancy because they're a good pole dancer.
Yeah, that's it. Look, I just think it is what it is, and let them be amateurs. And I tell you what, in my competition, we have a lot of excellent, excellent amateurs that are doing tricks that a lot of the professionals have said to me, there's no way I can do that. Absolutely no way. But the professionals have the experience. They have the stage presence, they have the confidence, they have the show, they know how to just keep going if they make a mistake. The experience counts for so much. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I would never do a fungi, but I would still put myself on stage.
Was there anything else around that, or was it just because they were so good?
Um, I think that was the sort of main point that kept coming up was yeah, there was a lot of amateurs and not that many professionals. But again,
Mm.
maybe that's sort of just like a sign of the times right now. Like the amateurs are really good because they've had the advantage of a whole generation of pollers before them. Now we have like online learning. We have so much inspiration via Instagram. Like there's so much available that is it a wonder that the newbies are so good. You know, we have such great information at our fingertips. We have such great training, such great coach, such like easy accessibility to people all over the world that I feel like, now it's easier to get good coaching. So it is easier to, not easier in terms of like training, but the access is there to have great coaching. So I think we will get a lot, like the amateurs will get better and better and better, and the professional category will lean out because that's just kind of the natural tier of it, isn't it?
Yeah, I've just run Victoria, Queensland, and I've got New South Wales and ACT coming up. We've got very small amounts of professionals and a huge amount of amateurs. So we may have like 30, 35 amateurs, not quite, probably 30 amateurs in some of the comps and maybe
Mm.
four professionals. So
Yeah.
that's what's happening at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I remember, like, I mean, back in the day, there wasn't an amateur section. It was all professional.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's a great time to be professional competing right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of competition at the moment, so for professionals, it's
Got more
great.
chance of winning as a professional than you do just on the numbers, you've got more chance of winning placing than as an amateur. So even
100%. Yeah, yeah, 100%. As an amateur, it's tough right now. Like, I mean, you can be an amateur, but there's so many of them. For professionals, there's hardly any. So, what a time to compete.
time to be alive.
What a time. What else happened at this poll?
Well, I think we'll talk about the professional category. It was the standard was really beautiful. We did have one fall. She was so fine. She carried on, but it was that was notable.
I think that it had, we very rarely have a fall, to be fair. We have, no, that's not true. We have a lot of slips. We have quite a reasonable amount of falls. I had two falls in Vic,
Yeah.
but they were very quick and recover. And we were like, oh, they were fall. It wasn't like, oh, like that kind of a fall. They've definitely happened.
Yeah.
Like, you can't run competitions for, decades and not have a fall. So I think it's important for people to know what we do and what our procedures are.
True, true. Yeah. Yeah. So we always have senior first aid on site. And we have like before we do the comp, we have like a health and safety meeting. So I run through with the competitors, like if they do have if it's a head fall, I cut immediately. I don't take any risk with head falls. So if the head comes down first, then I'm like, cut the music, lights up, audience out, we get you out. And you just stay on the stage. So I say if you've fallen and your head has come down first, you stay very, very still and we'll sort the rest out. If it's a slip and going, that's up to you. If you come off the pole and it's not a head fall, then we wait, like organizers wait the signal from you. If you can continue, you'll continue. If you can't continue, you either stay very still or you give me a sign like with your hands that you can't continue. And then same thing, we bring the lights up, audience out, and then we get medical attention. So yeah, I think having a clear procedure and making sure that the competitors know that that's what the procedure is and that's what will be followed is really important.
Yeah, no, I think so too. So with ours, we always have every single crew member that I have is senior first aid qualified. We make sure the theatre is. We make sure we've got a defib. I've been senior first aid qualified for, I don't know, 30 years. That's how old I am now. Maybe even more, guys. Maybe.
Do you mind recall? You've just reminded me. I have to make a note. I have to is your defibrillator all right? Because mine got a recall.
Oh, did it? No. Mine's fine. You can get the travel ones now too, as well. So yeah, we'll have a travel one with us when we go into state, and they're a little bit cheaper. Defibs are really, really expensive. So yeah. So all of my staff are that, and then we have the Emergency Plus app. All of us have it on, and then I have connection, obviously, between all of my crew, and we're usually on comms. You'll always see me sitting at the judges' table. I've got either the comms on my head or I've got my phone in my hand, and what I'm doing is communicating with all my staff that are running around behind the scenes and making sure everything's okay. So we also have that in place, and we do something very similar to you. But basically, we go straight to first aid and then we call an ambulance. And quite often, we're lucky enough to have a doctor that travels with us as well, which is amazing. So we take that very, very seriously, as we should.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because I think, particularly with your comp, is there is so much of that dynamic on the pole, and that is, I think, more valuable in your comp than maybe in this pole, which is more of like a showgirl theatrical weight comp. So yeah, I mean in both of them though, because like there's a huge crossover between that style, like in both styles of pole dancing. I think there's that dynamic movement where you're like throwing and tossing and flipping is now very present in both of those things. But equally, like I had a girl step off the pole wrong in class the other day and she fractured her foot. She didn't fall. She just like stepped wrong, had a little roll and fractured foot. So, even if you're like not doing anything crazy, accidents can still happen. So I think having a clear procedure and making sure that medics are on hand very quickly is important.
Yeah, I agree with you. So with the fall that happened at Miss Pole, what was she doing?
I don't know what the move was called, because I didn't see it completed, but maybe if I had seen it completed, I wouldn't have seen it. I think she went in and set up, maybe the bottom hand slipped or something. The setup just wasn't quite right. What I was seeing. As she went in, head upright and feet were going down. But so her hands were set, and as she let her legs go, her hands weren't in the right place to like support the weight, and so she came down. Um, so I'm not sure if it was just misplacement, hand misplacement, or if it was a slip. But to me, it looked like the setup wasn't quite right. Yeah, difficult to know without seeing what it was supposed to.
Yeah. And did she keep going?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. So she came down feet first, very gracefully, very graceful for like came down, and then there was a moment where everything was very still, as happens when you have a fall on stage, and everybody waiting to see like what the performer is going to do. And she gave a very gracious smile and got up, and she didn't look hurt when she moved. She no visible like anything, any hindrance, and she was able to get up, continue, and finish her show very peacefully. Audience did a beautiful job of like encouraging her and supporting her through it.
Yeah.
It is like it's such a horrible thing to have happen to you. And like I've fallen on stage before. I think if you perform long enough, and often it will happen, like statistically it's gonna well, hopefully it never does happen to you, but like it's for sure happened to me. I've fallen out of lots of things, eagle, spatchcock, like even my signature tricks I've fallen out.
Mm.
Awful when it does happen. So just to have the audience behind you is great. But yeah, I mean I hope she um can like just chalks it up to one of those things because it's unfortunate if performers get stuck in that
Yeah.
and judge themselves too harshly. It does happen to anyone.
Yeah. Well, we had a few. We've had a few already this year, and it does happen. Ours were definitely falls. Um, they weren't bad though. It was
Mm,
just like, oh, I'm just like, 30 centimeters from the ground and just sort of slipped out of it and then just kept going, sort of thing. But
yeah.
it's more common than not.
Yeah.
When you've got 30 or 40 competitors on that stage, it's unlikely that no one at all will have a slip. So, we're ready for it,
Yeah. Every single perfect execution from every single performer is just unrealistic. Like
yeah.
I just don't think that would ever happen.
No, no.
Oh, we
But
did one injury in run through as well. Um, Lip, rolled ankle on the come downs, like dunk in heels.
yeah.
I had my physio there, and he was able to give us advice, tell us duk, 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 it's this, it's that, wrap it, and he was able to do the show later on in the night because he got treatment right away, and he came second.
Yeah, wow. Good one.
So yeah, even with the injury, was still able to like um, get up and keep going, and I think that's the key to having like good procedures and responses that you're able to get that like get the right hands on the person as quickly as possible to get like whatever outcome it is, whether it's like, oh, you're out, you need to like do this and this, you need to go to the hospital, or oh, you need to get surgery, or oh, it's just a strapping thing. Whatever it is, knowing that as soon as possible to get into the right treatment as soon as possible is everything.
Yeah. Though I will say, and this has happened previously, obviously, because I've run so many competitions with so many, of course, this happens. People will hide things from me. People
Yeah.
won't tell me that they're injured. I
Yes.
won't know that they're injured. And then all of a sudden I see somebody walking around with an ice pack and I'm like, come over here. What is happening? Why do you have that?
What
So
are
they
you?
know that I can pull them. It's in our rules and regulations that I can pull them. They don't want to get off that stage when they've trained for 3 or 6 months to be there. There's, and then they'll tell us, oh no, I'm fine, when they may not be fine as well. So we're not mind readers. We're not doctors.
And that's
We
the thing as well. I think sorry to cut you off, when you're in it, sometimes you need to trust the people around you to make the right decision for you. Like, like you or I objectively can say to you, the next 3 minutes on stage is not worth the next 6 months recovering.
Mhm.
Yeah, or, maybe you kind of use that part of your body again.
Yeah, and look, it's really hard because we don't know the amount of pain that they're in. We don't know their exact injury. We can just kind of see surface level that they're not okay and that they're hiding it from us. So we will give advice on what we think is best. But obviously, our advice is always you need to go see a medical professional.
Yeah.
We're not it. We might be first aid qualified. We've done it for many, many years, but we're not doctors, you know. So I just think you need to know your own body. And look, I've had people go up there and, you know, look, let's talk about Andrea Rive competing with a broken foot. Talk about Mish competing with a broken back. I mean, you know what I mean?
I don't know about Mish breaking with the back. Tell me,
Yeah.
what are you talking
Well,
about?
she did it when she was competing for APC. She broke her back. Yeah. So she was doing, I believe that she's told me all about it. She told me about it afterwards, not during. She is, because she was doing an acro element and she actually broke her back. But yeah,
I'm in shock.
yeah. Well, we'll get that. We'll get her back on and
Oh,
we'll talk to her about it. And I actually think it'd be really interesting, and even Andrea, and the process that they will go through with these injuries, and we don't know about it, just to get up onto that stage.
what is the drive? What is the reward? Is it worth it? I would love to know because I am a big baby. Like, I am a huge big baby. If I have a little thing that's n not right, I'm like, I don't want to do it. Like shoulder, knee, because I have a lot of injuries, right? I've been doing it a long time. If one of them flares up, I'm like, well, I'm out, because I need this body. I need this body. And it's, to me, the way that I look at it, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's not worth me performing for that audience on that stage at that time and then not being able to do anything ever again, and not that that would happen, but to me, I'm just like black and white. Worst case scenario, best case scenario. Best case scenario, I have a rest from this one. I've done so many performances through my career all over the world. I love performing. I love dancing. It's my greatest joy. But I'm able to say I might just leave this one because I want to be able to do this for as long as I physically can. And this might get in the way, if I push myself. Because when I do perform, I push myself max. There's no like, I'll do a medium eagle. I'll just do like a half eagle or a half spatchcock. It's always 110%. I think a lot of people are like that. So there's no way to make it safe.
Yeah, yeah. And I think also a lot of them, well, we're not talking about these two in particular, but a lot of competitors will say, it'll be okay. I'll work around my injury and I'll do something I'll do something different to work around my injury. But on the day, I'm going to really pull my leg and I'm going to get that split. And
Yeah,
it just, you
yeah.
can't, it doesn't work like that. You're going to pull a hamstring or you're going to re-injure yourself or whatever it may be.
And also it's almost worse to stop doing the thing and then that's aggravating whatever it is, and then do it again, but harder. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
say it's a split. Oh, I'm just gonna, if I pull it to, flat, then that's where my injury is. So I'm just gonna train here. But on the night, I'm gonna pull it past flat. I mean, it's like it's
Yeah.
it's probably worse than continuing to at least condition the
Yeah,
injury.
yeah, exactly.
Don't do
Yeah.
that.
All right. We'll have to bring some of them on. I know a lot of them that have been injured, so I'm gonna reach out and let's talk injuries to them and falls and all that sort of stuff.
Good. We should, and then I'll get Vince, my like physio, who's so knowledgeable, and we could just like shock him and be like,
This is what's happening, Vince. Yeah,
"Blah,
yeah. We'll get Dr. Dillon on actually because she's the doctor that travels with us.
the medical professionals to be like
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
an example of pole dancer mentality, which infuriates me. And if the girls are listening, they'll know who they are. But I have two girls in my studio who have something wrong with their knees, right? And they don't know what it is. And I keep saying to them, have you been to physio? physio? Have you got it checked? Have you had a scan? Have you been to physio? Have you got it checked? Had a scan? Have you been to doctor? Have you been to doctor? Have you been to physio? Week after week after week, it's no, no, no. It's getting better. It's getting better. It's getting better. But I can see them still nursing it, still rubbing it, still in pain every single week. It's not getting better.
Yeah, it doesn't get better.
And I think it's a really common pole dancer mentality because maybe, we're coming into pole dancing a little bit later in life. We don't have the training or the knowledge to deal with those injuries. And I think it's so important that when something comes up, we need to at least know what it is, at least know what it is. So my first port of call, if it's an acute injury, I go to urgent care or I go to emergency and I get an x-ray immediately. Like when I dislocated my knee just recently, I went immediately to urgent care. I was like, so I did something to my knee, I'm going to urgent care. I got an x-ray, it's not broken. Great. Because the last time I did something to my ankle, I was walking on it. I went to urgent care, I got an x-ray, and it was broken.
Yeah. I remember.
Like I don't even trust myself, because I can't feel if I can't feel that my bones are broken, how am I going to know if it's bad or not? You need somebody else to tell you. So I was having this conversation with them and I was like, it's been a few weeks. Why aren't you going? Like, why don't you want to know? I think one of the things is it's expensive. They might tell me to stop.
Yeah, that's what most of them say.
And I think also just a little bit fear of the unknown, right? Um, However, in the same breath, one of them said, "Oh, I need to get my bloods done." And I was like, "Why, why? What's wrong?" And she goes, "Oh, I don't know. I just want to check." I was like, "What do you mean? There's something actually physically wrong with your knee and you don't want to check it, but you want to look for something just in case it's there?" Guys, the knees. Anyway, I was like, it's this ongoing battle. I feel like I'm like, you got to go check it out. You got to go check it out. Is it expensive? I mean, it might be a little bit of an investment in your body, but this body is the one that you get. You only get one. And if you don't do it now and try to fix it later, it's going to be 10 times the journey. If you keep smashing it and keep smashing it, it will break. It will, and sometimes you might need to get surgery, and then it's definitely a long time off. Whereas if you're like, have a little something, and then it's maybe 2 to 4 weeks off, 4 to 6 weeks off instead of months off, it's such a huge difference. Let me continue on my rant forever.
I think also, like, I know that some of them say it's expensive, but there is bulk billing still in every state. So you can go to a doctor and not have to pay for it. Or Medicare, we're in a really lucky country when it comes to that. Our Medicare here and, private health, and even if you don't have private health, you can go through the public system. Yes, it takes longer, but it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, and it's so true. Yeah, it's so true. Like you can at least go to a GP and get bulk billed. Then at least get somebody to look at it and tell you what it might be.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got to look after yourselves. Like
Yeah,
no one else is going to look after you. You've got to look after yourself.
100%. And if you
Yeah.
want pole dancing for as long as us two old birds have been dancing for.
I know, it's really funny because I've had people recently say to me, Elle, I love that you're still teaching. Because, most people know I'm like in my 50s. I will not do anything with an injury. And if I feel something like niggling and I'm upside down or I feel like I've pushed a little bit too far, I'll pull out of it and go again. I don't push my body in any way. And that's why I'm still able to pole dance for almost 2 decades and still teach. Like I teach 9 classes in 3 days every single week. And I can only do that because I'm not stupid with what I do.
Yeah, yeah. And the same for me. Like you just have to keep it at a level that is maintainable, Like I don't think if if I was like pushing myself to the max in each of my classes that I'd be able to keep going. Like it's not. It's keeping that level of maintenance, like slow increments of if that's what you want in different areas, but never like over exceeding yourself, overstretching yourself. Cross training is important. Um,
Yeah.
I think not enough pole dancers know that cross-training is really important. Especially if you want to do it professionally, I think for a long time. I think if you're like just doing it for a bit of fitness, bit of fun, bit of movement, cool, just pole dancing's your thing. But if you want to really use your body as your tool for a long period of time, your whole life, then cross training is important. Recovery
Yeah, I agree.
is important.
Yeah, definitely. What else happened at Pole WA? Anything else that was exciting?
Went off on a tangent. We, do you know, I think noteworthy performances, professional division, Indira Storm, who came second, she
Mm-hmm.
a really unique and original piece, which I thought was super excellently executed. Like I'll send you a video because
Mm-hmm.
and I think if anybody's got an opportunity, watch that performance. It was, I would say, really standout, really excellent in terms of ingenuity in concept and theme. Yeah, really, really worth seeing.
Very creative, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got like, but I think that the way that she executed her theme and just like very effective stagecraft, really, really elevated everything. So yeah, it was really, really fun to watch. And even like I was side of stage watching things happen because I was emceeing me. And I still didn't like, wow, the magic of theatre. I don't understand how this is happening. I'm seeing it. But it was really cool. Our amateurs were amazing. Like our amateurs were so good. And not just the girls that were like excellent at pole dancing, but our amateurs level of like professionalism on stage and carrying the audience and performing was really exceptional. I felt like it was a real show from beginning to end. I don't think there was anybody on stage where sometimes in amateurs you really feel like, hope she's gonna, is she? Yep, okay. Where you feel like you're rooting for them, but you're a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
And it just felt like there was none of that. Everyone really held their own. Um, what else?
What about the professional winner? Was it Erica?
So Erica won. She was just the epitome of a showgirl, like just so fire. Costume was incredible. Like face execution, everything was just really like
She's
um,
beautiful.
yeah,
She's beautiful.
she really did. And I think between like the first and second, 'cause Dira came second, I think it would have been really close. I didn't look at the marks, but I think like just from watching, I think really the only reason, not the only reason, sorry, Erica, but like it would have been very close. Erica's was more like showgirl, traditional Miss Pole. And I think that might just have tipped it. But yeah, in terms of like they were like both first and second, I think it would have been so close. But yeah, really good performances all around. All the professionals were good too, like solid. And it was a fun night. Everyone was like super, super kind to each other backstage, which is always such a joy when everyone's just like chill backstage. Sometimes it gets a little bit stressy and there's been other I think years where um the energy's been a little bit more frantic, more nervous, more like anxiety-ish. Whereas this year, I think it was a really lovely vibe backstage. Everyone was very supportive. I don't think anybody was putting too much pressure on themselves. And yeah, so it was lovely. We did have a few people that were very, very sick when they were performing. So unfortunately, I don't know about you guys, but having this like crazy virus going around where everybody's just like falling off. Everybody gets it, and just everyone's so sick. Some people got COVID. So yeah,
Yeah.
a few girls that were like really, really just dead. But yeah, it was, I mean, all around, I felt like it was a really, really great night. And yeah, really pleased for all the performers because they did such a good job, each and every one of them.
So what happens with the amateurs? I know obviously the professionals, the first place goes through. So Erica will go through to the national finals and then everyone else is a wild card.
So
So if they go through.
wild cards that have they've been told they're wild cards, but I'm not allowed to tell you yet until Miss Pole Dance announces the wild card. I think they wait for
So they get told, do they?
I asked if I could tell them just because I thought they might have some family and friends that might want to come over to Sydney. And for us now, it's like it's really expensive to go over. So the earlier
Yeah.
the cheaper it is. So I asked if I could let them know early. And Ness was like, yeah, that's fine. Just don't put it on social media and stuff. So they know who they are, and I know who they are, but you don't know who they are.
No, I did not know.
Yeah.
I feel like even though I don't know, I could maybe guess.
All right.
I'm good at guessing that sort of stuff. And so what happens? Yeah. So what happens with the amateurs now? They don't get a finals, do they?
No, no, that's it. So it's only within the state. And then yeah, that's it. The winners, the place getters, they move up to professional next year, if they choose to do it again. And yeah, that's their prize is that now that they're a professional.
So first, second, and third in the amateur division now become professionals.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Probably check that, shouldn't I?
Some competitions it's only first, but ours is definitely first, second, and
I think
third.
it's getters. I think it's pretty much aligned with what yours is. I checked it last. I checked it just before the comp because I was like, what are the rules? And now I don't remember. So
Yeah.
good.
So if they are amateur and they came first, second, and third, and this is what my advice is always, I'm not sure if it's yours, I always say to them, enter all the comps this year. Because next year you're professional, depending on the competition. Some will be semi-pro, but most will be pro. So do all the amateur comps that you want to do this year, do all of them. Because next year you're bumped up.
Good. Yeah, exactly. And it is good advice as well, because if you are like, yeah, if you do level up very quickly and go in an amateur and then win and you're not feeling it yet, you do want that extra experience. So I think that's really, really great advice. I'm always I guess here in WA we didn't have that many comps. Now we've got a few more, which is really great, but we never used to have any. So I would have to give our girls advice like, well, I guess you just have to do other things that make you nervous, like public speaking and
Speaking of public speaking, can we talk about that? Now, this is the first time you're an MC.
No,
No, it's not the first time.
I've done it loads. What are you talking about?
For Miss Pole, WA. Surely this is the first time you've done it.
Okay, so maybe it's the first time I've done the professional because we usually have cheerleaders, and this is also the first time we've done the pros and the amateurs together as one. I've definitely done amateurs before. Have I done?
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So yes, it is my first time. What am I talking about? I don't know.
Remember how I know everything?
No, I doubt you. I should know better by now.
Okay. All right. So how did that go?
It was really great. Great audience. They played with me so much. They were so fun. I don't really have a problem public speaking. I'm quite comfortable doing it, even if the audience is awkward. I think I guess, awkward enough that I don't mind. I'm just like, oh well, here I am. We're doing things. So I am quite comfortable with public speaking once I get into a groove. Like I think at first you're always a little bit nervous, but then once you get into a groove, you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. We had so many sponsors this year, which was so lovely. So it actually made it a lot easier because there was quite a lot to go through. So, sometimes when you're ad-libbing, it's, you've got nothing to work with, and then you're like, well, I guess I will sing for the people. The Australian national anthem. But no, thankfully, yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff to get through. We have the advantage in that theatre. They've got this massive LED screen, which we could also run like ads for our sponsors. We asked them to submit, like, give us videos so that we could run the videos on the screen. So it was quite a lot of things to put in between so the audience didn't get too bored of like watching the poll cleaners clean the poll. And yeah, and it ran very smoothly as well. So yeah, I think it was pretty good. I think I did a good job. I don't know. I have a lot of self-confidence, so I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure.
No, great. I'm sure it was great. Yeah, no, you're very good at speaking.
I thought I did great.
It's good. Like, I think that there's a big change in MCs at the moment. Nicole did the same thing. Nicole, so for Queensland Pole Championships, Nicole was the MC and she competed and she ran it. Like, who are you, Wonder Woman? And she's just had a baby.
I can't do that. There's too many things. I can do one.
Well, you ran it and you were the MC, so you did two things.
Oh yeah, I can do two things.
You did the two. So, but yeah, so MCs and in this year I used Georgie, who's beautiful, she's amazing, and I've used her twice now. But she's from WA, so she years and years ago she was the MC for MPD WA.
Oh yeah, I know Georgie. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so she's done it for me for the last 2 years, so she's great too.
Lovely. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah, she's so good. So yeah, it's nice seeing fresh faces and new people and giving people opportunities to do it as well. Like, I think it's really important to, get lots of new people in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it keeps it fresh for the audience, but also can bring new audience in as well, like it keeps, fresh faces.
Yeah, very good, very good. What's that?
Face is not that fresh.
Yeah, I mean, as an MC, it is.
Yeah, I like the way you think, friend.
Right? And with that new hairstyle every time, nobody even really knows who you are.
I know. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know who I am.
I love the way you change your hair. I think it's very cool.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you. I love the way you don't change yours.
Listen, I went from black to blonde. This is a big
you just did like a huge change. Yeah. That was like one big one. And
now we're done. It was too hard to change blonde to anything else, especially when you got long blonde. If you have short blonde, it's fine. You can cut it off if it's destroying.
Yeah. Well, I think going from dark to blonde, that's like, well, I know it is. It's a process.
Yeah, it was years in the making. So here we are. I actually said to my hairdresser last time I went back to Canberra and saw her, I said, I really want to go to that blonde, that blonde brown color. And I said, but you won't let me, will you come? She goes, absolutely not. You're blonde forever, Elle.
This is you now. Get used to it.
Yeah, like it. Well, let's wrap this one up then, yeah?
Nice. Yeah, so in conclusion, what did we talk about? I guess this was mainly what is the one I have? Miss Pole Dance WA.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need, yeah. In summary, a great evening was had by all, and hopefully we have another great one next year. Oh, and I can't wait to see everyone in the finals in Sydney.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one this year, 21st year. So really big.
I'm so excited. And
yeah.
It's 20 years. I think, since the first one? Wait, this was the debate. Was it 20 years?
I think isn't it 21 years? Didn't Ness say to us when we did the interview with her that it was 20 years last year, but she's celebrating it as the 21st year? There was a reason for it, that she wanted to make it the 21st rather than the 20th. I think that she needed to organise something. So this year is going to be the big one where she's bringing people back that we don't know about.
I know them.
Well, I don't think you're allowed to spill the beans. Remember how we said?
Allowed to. I know about them and I'm excited.
Yeah, well, it will be exciting, I think. I think I'm going to have to come to this one. I haven't been to a finals for a while. Yes, I will.
You live in Sydney anyway.
Well, right now I do. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be back in Melbourne, but today I'm in Sydney. Who knows where I'll be? Imagine I could be overseas next. Who knows?
Gosh, I wouldn't put it past you.
Well, that's right. Neither would I, actually. Neither would I. All right. Well, great job for running this poll.
Thank you very much, and great job to everyone who competed and who judged and who was a part of the show, who volunteered, everybody who came. We appreciate everybody's time and everybody's energy and everybody's good vibes.
Yay.
Hey, all right, please listen again, like and subscribe and follow.
See ya.